Lagos, Nigeria is a busy port city built on a series of islands and surrounding land on the west coast of Africa. It's one of the fastest growing cities in the world, with a population of 21 million including its surrounding conurbation. Like Nigeria itself, which is home of 180 million people, 300 tribes and 500 languages, Lagos is a melting pot of cultural traditions. The city has a lively growing art scene. The bustling metropolis has rightfully earned the moniker Culture Capital of West Africa. During this episode, I will make you discover a place not to be missed if you visit Lagos, a place where calm, greenery, history and culture are preserved. Its name, Freedom Park.
Good morning, everybody. I don't know what should I say. Welcome to the park or welcome to the jail. I thought it will be very interesting for those of you who don't know about it to discover this place. So here is the park. It looks like a very beautiful place, but it's not only beautiful, it's charged with a lot of history. Good morning, Auntie. We will meet Mr. Theo Lawson, which is an architect and an artist, I would say, a poet maybe too. However, we will meet Mr. Theo Lawson, which is the manager of the park, and he will bring us on a tour of that very interesting park.
So my friend Ludo, welcome to Freedom Park. Well, Freedom Park was the first colonial prison in Nigeria. It was built in 1872 and finally closed down 100 years afterwards in 1972. I'm very happy that Freedom Park has served the three functions it was designed for: the green space, the historical space, and then the art space.
Mm-hmm.
So we encourage artists to come in, find a space where they can actually express themselves. Under this tree, Professor Wole Soyinka declared Speaker's Corner, this area as Speaker's Corner.
Okay.
Well, the park has declared as Speaker's Corner, so which means that technically we have the right for free speech. Mm-hmm. You can come here and say whatever you believe in and can stand by it without fear of retribution from anybody. Spend a lot of time trying to keep pumps and stuff going on. Mm-hmm. We have fish
Inside the corner, okay, we can see them here.
So this is aquaculture, and we got aquaponics. We had an aquaponic farm here originally, but essentially it's the basis for long-term agricultural exploration project.
Okay.
Where we can actually now see how to incorporate the fish into farming, and just have to design a proper feature for it.
So all these trees actually were planted when you start to rehabilitate the place.
Not all of them.
I mean,
this was a baby tree when we got here, when we started here. That was here. This ones are new. All of these guys are new. This is our amphitheater. So we have plays, cinema. Now you might ask what the obelisk is doing here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now that's interesting because over there, can you see the two twin towers outside there?
okay, yes.
Yeah, the twin towers out there. That's Ministry of Justice. Mm-hmm. Then you have the gallows where they kill prisoners down there. Mm-hmm. So there's an axis which I used to mark. I use this to mark that axis. Okay. And I call it the axis of injustice.
So you are not actually only an architect or only the person in charge or the manager. You're also, an artist.
Narrator.
Because, I mean, I've never knew the what was this obelisk doing. Even when we spoke about it, I did not even think too much. But I mean,
Okay, so this is cell block A. Cell block A essentially is we did this as a cutaway of cell block. It's actually on 2 floors, ground and first.
okay, there were 2 floors of
Yeah,
cells.
yeah,
Okay.
it was on ground and first floor. Just did this so we can use this to symbolize and show people exactly the size. Remember the one we saw upstairs? So you got the width, 4 feet by 8 feet.
This was for one person?
When it started, it was for
Yes.
one person. By the time they shut the space down, they had 3 or 4 people in the cell.
Okay, this is what I heard.
Yeah.
So in that case, if you are 3 or 4, it becomes almost impossible to lay down.
Well, you'd be either you lie like that or you sort of squeeze yourself into crap. The space between cell block A and cell block B was the parade ground where the prisoners were brought in to assign them duties for the day.
Okay.
So they brought them here, they counted them, and made sure they now allocated them to different tasks for the day.
Inside the jail. Oh, they were going out?
They're going out. They're going to build roads in Ikoyi, sweep streets, and make furniture. Yeah.
Okay, this I didn't
It was a labor camp.
Okay, it was a labor camp. So the guys were jailed during the night, and they were brought to some
Yeah.
daily activity
Yeah,
to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cell block B is over there through the pergola. You can see there's reaches on the floor. Can you see the reaches?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
those are each cell.
Oh, yes.
Mike had the mask, there's Chinyo Achebe, but I'll leave his mask on for now because wear his glasses properly. Chinyo Achebe. And now this is the founding fathers. Alright, now let me ask you the question. Who is he?
I will feel very idiot. I don't know. And you know, somebody told me about them less than a week ago. I don't know why I cannot fix it in my mind. I know there's Mr. Awolowo.
You see,
Mr.
you should have attended school in Nigeria. Because by the time they flog you a few times,
Yes,
you remember.
I seen a child yesterday in front of a school. He was walking on his knee. I think somebody told me this is a punishment because he misbehaved.
I hated that punishment, man. I hated that punishment.
Yeah, maybe I should be punished because I've asked the question 100 times.
Obafemi Awolowo.
Obafemi Awolowo. Okay.
Obafemi Awolowo, Saudana Sokoto, Amadou Bello
Amadou Bello from North,
from North, and Nnamdi Azikiwe
which is from Igbo side?
from East.
East side. East
East,
side.
yeah. No, they were the founding fathers for Nigeria's independence.
Yeah. They were not jailed here at some
Only-
point?
only
Only Mr. Awolowo. Okay.
This is where the hospital used to be. So symbolically, this is where you feel good. Yeah, you're made to feel good. So it's either food or drink or whatever make you happy.
Okay.
So the hospital symbolically, this represents the hospital therapy. So the food court building sits on where the prison kitchen used to be.
The guards are here.
The museum was where the records office used to be, the prison records office. This was the original entrance into the prison, where everybody came into. There was a records office, so they actually now recorded the inmates, the new inmates, and now from here they sent them to the different cells. So the records office was here, and in its place we now built a museum, also to capture some of the records of what was here before. But originally I had planned this to be the Lagos Museum, where this will tell the story of pre-colonial Lagos, colonial Lagos, then post-colonial Lagos, that's independence. But we didn't have the funding to do that, so basically.
So you're still actively looking for some funding for that?
Well, no, I mean, because there's not the Lagos Museum going on elsewhere. So, there's Lagos City is building a museum elsewhere right now, so this will remain an art gallery. Now, in here, this is very apt because this talks about the how African history is locked up. How, for instance, all our history, our knowledge of ourselves is lying behind a cage. This is very symbolic. Shows about how culture
is being jammed.
Being held down. Okay, so welcome to Freedom Park Museum. This shows a picture of what the prison was like before. So this is around the 60s, sometime in the 60s. You can see the old secretariat, see the secretariat extension, and the prison. This was cell block A, B, and C. This was the hospital, and this is the library and European cells. Here is where the gallows used to be, where the prisoners were executed. Here was the kitchen, where we put our food court building. So where the hospital is where they have the open terrace for the food court.
The cells were standing like this when you took in charge the park yourself?
No, everything had been pulled down because in '72, the government had shut the prison down and allocated it to different developers. Developers came in, pulled all the buildings down, apart from the feds. But because of the history of coups, because of coup after coup d'etat, each coup d'etat meant that they couldn't develop. So they lost all their deposits, and the place was abandoned for 30 years. So for 30 years, it became a refuse dump.
And you were the person who had the idea to, I don't know how to say that, to use it, but to give some life to this very important...
to save the heritage.
Yes.
And if you notice, they built vaults inside each cell so that fire could not spread from one cell to the other.
Okay.
Because initially, people used to set fires.
Who was setting fire?
The people outside.
The people outside?
Because they hated the prison. We're lucky we found the plan of the old prison. So I can say cell block A, cell block B, cell block C.
The cells, as the way we see them downstairs, you rebuild them according to what you saw?
To what's the plan.
Okay, this I didn't know. Okay.
So we want to do archaeological digs. We had planned that the first 2 months of the contract were spent trying to salvage some of the history. But the project did not kick off till about 3 months after it was approved. So, and then we now had a shorter time to deliver the buildings in. So these are things we came across, and there's a whole lot more that's still buried underground. But this points out to a little bit of the history that was there. Now this area has to do with some of the famous prisoners that were here. Again, in 100 years that the prison was open, we have records only the more recent ones. We have not engaged researchers and historians yet. Hopefully in time, the stories from 100 years ago, 150 years ago, will begin to surface. Who were the first prisoners here? What did they do? What were their lives? What crimes did they commit? Freedom Park is not here for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. It's a long-term thing, so there's plenty of time to dig up stories.
Dig the story.
So this is some of the prisoners. Interesting story. That's Awolowo. For instance, Awolowo was here with his band of treasonable felonists. So this was some of the guys that were actually here. I think there were 15 in all, but these 7 were kept here. So these 9 were kept here. Now this is a typical cell. It felt like. This cell is 4 feet by 8 feet, 1.2 meters by 2.4. And then there's a bench and a bucket. The bucket was for all your waste. The main stage is where the gallows used to be.
Okay.
Where it's high pressure. So anybody coming on stage, we tell them that look, a lot of people died here, so your career can die here. So put up your best performance. This is an old telephone exchange that belonged to Zik, Nnamdi Azikiwe, the former president.
Okay.
President of Nigeria.
Oh.
I found this in his office in the old West African Pilots building. That's where, that was good. That's the museum. But this is what I want you to see. This is an old map of Lagos Island. It was done in 1885. Mm-hmm. And it shows you, this is where the prison is here, where we are. Mm-hmm. If you remember, we talked about cell block A, B, and C. Mm-hmm. Now this is where cell block C was. Okay. And I tried to represent all the cells in different ways. So cell block A was represented as a cutaway thing, where it's just half of the cell block, where so you get an idea of the size of the cells. Okay. And it works for, it has a different purpose. Cell block B, which is there, which is like a pergola. Okay. Has all the vines growing around. You can see the cells. So it's just like supposed to be a garden feature. Whereas cell block C is like exhuming the skeleton, pulling out the skeleton of the old cells. Some of the inmates here in cell block C. These guys were made from steel, regular steel, and then the barbed wire is the original barbed wire from the fence around the prison.
Okay. Yeah, if you don't have the explanation, you will wonder, okay, why this metallic structure in the middle? But it takes sense. I mean, this is
something that was intriguing, but real. It represents something that was here before. So it represents a cell. You can see each cell, which is 4 feet.
Oh yes, you can see the frames here.
Frame for the cell. So it's real to, it's true to what was here before, but it's also symbolic of an idea. And where the main stage is over there was where the condemned prisoners' cells and the gallows.
Hanging.
Yeah. So people here would have been hearing the sound of the gallows.
I heard that Mr. Wale Soyinka has his own office.
Yes, he has offices here. That's currently here. So this is the Kongis Harvest Art Gallery.
So many artists are coming here to show their work.
Yes, show their work. And we also have seminars and lectures. That's why Soyinka's office.
Okay, inside.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this is the history and about the future of the park.
So because it was a prison, we felt we should create some cells where people can actually come and sleep. So above cell block A, that was on 2 floors, so like maybe we should build above this and have the upper floor as artist residency. Okay. Yeah. The amphitheater, remember the amphitheater?
Yes.
We want to see if we can do a retractable roof over it. Okay. So we have better use for the space, daytime and nighttime. I mean, daytime and rainy season.
Rainy time, yes.
Yeah, rainy time. So that's number 2. Number 3, we want to extend the a terrace from upstairs there out, so you can have people in the members' lounge can come out to the terrace and have better interaction with the stage, and then people under here can have a permanent cover, a good covered space. At the time I retire, I'm hoping that there'll be some better structure in place. We hope to have taken to somewhere where it is totally self-sufficient and use it to promote Lagos.
Yes. As a guy who does not belong to Nigeria, I mean, even if I feel Nigerian at some point, this is a place where I feel good because it has everything you need. It has a quiet area, green area. Yeah, quiet. But this music is also cool. And then, it's full of culture, full of history. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Lawson.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Freedom Park is not only a jail, as Theo told you, it's also a very nice place for show and actual culture too. And then I want to show you another aspect. You maybe already hear it. This is live music. You can see live music here almost every week. I'm gonna bring you to see Madekuti now.
getting into the underground spiritual game. Are you ready? Sorry, on the last number there was an issue with the drums. But let's carry on with the night. Are you feeling okay? Free your mind, 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 and set your soul free. Free your mind, 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 and set your soul free. Free your mind, 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 and set your soul. Hey, pal, is it here? Call me, we'll be around. day and night. Policeman comes stop am for road. He said, Mr. I charge you for wandering. Waiting they find for Lagos, yo. Calabar, he go get you. Calabar, everybody now. La da da da. La da da da. La da da Everybody say yeah, yeah.